I want you to listen to the story of a man named Arthur. He was a 71-year-old retired architect, a man whose mind was as sharp and brilliant as ever, but whose body had become a foreign country to him. He sat in my office with his wife Eleanor, a couple who still looked at each other with deep affection after 48 years of marriage. They weren't there to talk about erectile dysfunction. Not directly. They had already been down that road. The pills didn't work well, and Arthur hated the side effects. Their problem was deeper, more ghostly. Arthur described it with a chilling clarity. "Dr. Liam," he began, "it's not that the machinery is completely broken. It's that the operator has left the building. Eleanor can touch me. I can see that she's beautiful. My mind can remember what desire feels like, but I feel nothing. It's like trying to listen to music through a thick wall of glass. I can see the orchestra playing, but all I hear is a faint, muffled noise." Eleanor, a brave woman, added with tears welling in her eyes, "He's gone distant, doctor. It's like his spirit has withdrawn from his own body, and I can't reach him anymore." Arthur was suffering from the most common and least diagnosed sexual problem in older men, a catastrophic disconnection between his mind and his body. He wasn't just impotent, he was numb. He believed, with every fiber of his being, that this was the final, irreversible chapter of his life as a man. He didn't know that the cure wasn't a pill, but a secret of the breath, a technique so ancient and so powerful that it had the ability to rebuild the bridge between his mind and his body in a matter of minutes. My name is Dr. Liam, and while I am a medical doctor, my specialty for over 30 years has been the field of human sexuality. I am a sexologist. My work goes beyond the plumbing, beyond the hormones, and into the complex, powerful, and often mysterious connection between the human mind and the human body. I have seen thousands of men and couples like Arthur and Eleanor, men who have been told their only hope lies in a pill or an injection. But I am here to tell you that this is a lie of omission. It ignores the most powerful tool you have at your disposal, your own focused intention, channeled through your breath. For centuries, our ancestors understood this. The great yogis of the East, the Taoist masters even, it is said, the inner circles of the Egyptian pharaohs, knew secrets of the breath that could cultivate and direct sexual energy. These techniques were not for procreation. They were for vitality, for power, for life itself. Today, I am going to pull one of these secrets out of the dust of history and place it in your hands. It's crucial we have these honest conversations here on Senior Vigor Secrets. If this kind of direct, no-nonsense health information is something you value and you want to ensure you don't miss these critical warnings, please take a moment to give this video a like and click subscribe below. Don't forget that bell icon so you're alerted. Your health journey matters to us. Today, I am going to teach you a technique that I call the Pharaoh's breath. It is a specific, methodical breathing exercise designed to do one thing with breathtaking efficiency, to take the scattered ambient energy of your body and consciously drive it down into your pelvic basin, creating a sensation of warmth, fullness, and immediate arousal that can feel like a miracle to a man who has felt nothing for years. We will first explore the great disconnect, the modern plague of numbness that is the true enemy. Then, I will reveal the core principles of the Pharaoh's breath, breaking down the mechanics of this lost art step by step. And finally, I will explain how this simple technique, practiced for just a few minutes, can shatter the wall of glass between your mind and your body and bring you back into a world of feeling, sensation, and passionate connection. Let's first diagnose the true disease. It is not erectile dysfunction. That is just a symptom. The true disease is the great disconnect. Modern life is a conspiracy against your nervous system. From the moment you wake up, you are bombarded with stress, with information, with distractions. Your mind is constantly pulled outward to your phone, to the television, to the worries of the day. All of your energy, all of your focus is directed up and out. This creates a devastating internal schism. The neurological superhighway that is supposed to connect your brain to your genitals, a pathway that should be alive with sensation and feedback, becomes a neglected, overgrown dirt road. You literally forget how to feel. The nerve endings are still there. The capacity for pleasure is still there. But the driver, your conscious mind, is asleep at the wheel. You become a stranger in your own house. living entirely in the upper floors of your intellect and your anxiety, while the entire foundation of your pelvic region, the seat of your masculine power, falls into silent, cold disuse. The price you pay for this disconnect is profound. It's a life lived in black and white. You go through the motions of intimacy, but you feel like an actor in a play. You see your partner, but you cannot truly feel them. The lack of erection is merely the final, logical consequence of a much deeper problem, a complete and total lack of arousal. Because arousal is not a thought. Arousal is a feeling. It is a physical sensation of energy, warmth, and blood congregating in the pelvis. If you cannot feel that, you cannot have a genuine, powerful erection. I had a patient, a 69-year-old man named Frank, a retired CEO who was used to being in control. He came to me, frustrated and angry. "I don't get it, Doc," he said. "I can close a multi-million-dollar deal, but I can't get my own body to respond. I'm thinking all the right thoughts. I'm looking at my wife. I'm telling my body what to do, and it just ignores me." He was trying to command his body from the boardroom of his brain. He was issuing memos and directives, but nobody was listening. He had spent his life cultivating his intellect and had completely neglected his physical intuition. The price he was paying was a sense of utter powerlessness that was completely foreign to him. He was a king who had lost all control over his own domain because he had forgotten how to even walk among his people. The disconnect was so total that his body had effectively seceded from his mind's union. That is the plague I see every day. So, how do we rebuild that bridge? We do it with the breath, but not just any breath. The Pharaoh's breath is a specific technique of what is known as pelvic pressurization. It's based on a simple, powerful principle where your attention goes, energy flows, and when you combine your attention with the physical force of your breath, you create a hydraulic pump. You are going to use your lungs and your diaphragm like a piston to physically drive blood and neurological energy down into the pelvic floor. I want you to think of your pelvis as a dormant volcano. For years, it has been cold and silent. This technique is designed to awaken the magma deep within, to create a feeling of warmth and pressure that spreads through the entire region, waking up every sleeping nerve ending and signaling to every artery that it is time to open up. This is not a metaphor. Men who practice this correctly report a distinct, undeniable physical sensation of heat and fullness in their perineum, the area between the scrotum and the anus, and at the very root of the penis. This is the feeling of arousal being born. This is the feeling you have forgotten. We've uncovered some hard truths so far, and I know this isn't always easy to hear, but understanding is the first step to taking back control. If you're finding this information eye-opening and haven't subscribed yet to Senior Vigor Secrets, please do, and I truly want to hear from you. Share your thoughts or questions in the comments. What are you experiencing? Perhaps your story or a problem you're facing could be the topic of a future dedicated video here on Senior Vigor Secrets. Your input is invaluable. Now for the technique itself, I am going to break this down into 3 simple, clear steps. You can practice this sitting in a chair or lying down. It is essential that you are in a quiet, private space where you will not be interrupted. Let's begin. Step 1 is what I call the deep abdominal draw. You are going to breathe in, but not into your chest. This is the first mistake most people make. I want you to place one hand on your chest and one hand on your lower belly. As you breathe in slowly and deeply through your nose, the hand on your chest should barely move. The hand on your belly should rise significantly. You are drawing the air deep down into the bottom of your lungs, pushing your diaphragm down and expanding your abdomen like a balloon. I want you to take a slow 5-second inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel your belly expand. Step 2 is the pelvic lock and hold. At the absolute peak of your inhalation, when your lungs are completely full, you are going to do 2 things simultaneously. First, you are going to hold your breath. Do not let any air escape. Second, and this is the most critical part of the entire technique, you are going to gently squeeze and pull up on your pelvic floor muscles. These are the same muscles you would use to stop the flow of urination midstream. It's a gentle but firm internal lift. As you are holding your breath and engaging this pelvic lock, you are going to hold this state for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. What is happening here is profound. You have filled your abdomen with air, creating downward pressure with your diaphragm, and now you are creating upward pressure by squeezing your pelvic floor. You have effectively trapped and pressurized the entire pelvic basin. The blood and energy have nowhere to go. They are forced to saturate the tissues of your perineum, your prostate, and the roots of your penis. Step 3 is the focused exhale. After the 3-second hold, you are going to exhale. But you are not just going to let the air go. You are going to exhale slowly through your mouth with a soft ha sound, as if you are gently fogging a mirror. And as you exhale, you will consciously and intentionally relax the pelvic floor muscles you were just squeezing. You are releasing the pressure. You will perform this entire cycle, the 5-second inhale, the 3-second locked hold, and the slow controlled exhale 10 times. That is one full set. For a man who is completely disconnected, I recommend doing 2 to 3 sets twice a day. But more importantly, I recommend doing one full set right before you anticipate an intimate encounter. It is a way of priming the pump, of waking up the engine before you need to drive the car. Let's go back to Arthur, the architect. When I first tried to teach him this, he was clumsy. He was a man who lived in his head, and this was a purely physical, intuitive exercise. He kept breathing into his chest. He couldn't figure out how to isolate his pelvic floor muscles. He got frustrated, but I had him practice. I had him do his Kegel exercises separately, just so he could learn what that internal squeeze felt like. And then, in our second session, something clicked. He took the deep abdominal breath, he locked his pelvic floor, and he held it. His eyes widened. "My God," he said, "I feel that. It's warm." It was the first time in years he had felt any distinct sensation in that part of his body. He had opened a door that he thought was welded shut. The price he had been paying for his disconnection was a life of numbness. The reward for his practice was the slow return of feeling itself. He and Eleanor practiced this together. It became their new ritual of connection before they even touched. It was a way for him to come back into his body, to be present with her in a way he hadn't been for years. Now, there is a final, master-level component to this. It's what turns this from a physical exercise into a true mind-body miracle. It is the focused visualization. As you are performing the Pharaoh's breath, your mind must not be wandering. Your mind is the laser beam that directs the energy. As you inhale, I want you to visualize that you are drawing up a bright, warm, golden energy from the earth, up through your feet, up your legs, and into your belly. As you hold your breath and lock your pelvis, I want you to visualize that golden energy swirling and concentrating in your pelvic basin, turning that dormant volcano into a glowing cauldron of liquid light. And as you exhale, I want you to visualize that warmth and light spreading through your entire genital region, bathing every cell in sensation. This isn't just New Age nonsense. This is a technique for focusing your brain's immense power on a specific region of your body. You are using your executive function to command your autonomic nervous system. You are forging the mind-muscle connection with the fire of your own intention. The conclusion is simple, but it is revolutionary for so many men. The secret to instant arousal is not about thinking sexy thoughts. It is about creating a physical, tangible sensation of energy and blood flow in your pelvis. The Pharaoh's breath is a lost key that allows you to do just that. It is a manual override switch for your own arousal mechanism. It takes the power back from the random whims of your nervous system and places it firmly back in your conscious control. It is the ultimate tool for overcoming the great disconnect. My challenge for you today is to try it, not once, but for 3 days. Commit to practicing 2 sets of the Pharaoh's breath in the morning and 2 sets in the evening. Find a quiet place, put your hands on your chest and belly, breathe deep into your abdomen, lock your pelvis, feel the pressure, and most importantly, pay attention. Pay attention to any new sensation, no matter how subtle. A slight warmth, a faint tingling, a feeling of fullness. These are the first sprouts of green in a desert you thought was barren forever. You are not trying to force an erection. You are trying to rediscover the feeling of arousal. That is the first step. That is the most important step, and it is a step you can take right now. I sincerely hope this has armed you with the knowledge you need to protect yourself. This isn't just about avoiding mistakes, it's about choosing a healthier, more vibrant life. If this message resonated, please subscribe to Senior Vigor Secrets for more essential health truths, share it with men you care about, and let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was or what health challenges you're facing. Your experiences are important, and sharing them helps us all learn and build a stronger community right here on Senior Vigor Secrets.